Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I am feeling a lot better than I did a couple of days ago, but I'm not 100% yet. My voice does its own thing. I'm still doing a lot of coughing, all that good stuff. You know what it's like to have the flu and still be recuperating. That's me. But I wanted to come on and show you that I have finally finished my first hand quilting project. I have never hand quilted before, but along with all of the other plethora of things that I am into, I wanted to give it a go and see if it was something that I enjoy doing. And I can tell you from just this first project, I do. I enjoyed this immensely. This was a block that I made, I don't know how long ago, but I made this block and several others as practice blocks to do free motion quilting on my domestic machine. And of course, this was before I got my long arm. Now that I have my long arm, I'm just like, I'm just going to quilt on big quilts. But I have all these blocks and I'm like, now what am I going to do with them? And so as I started looking at more and more videos on slow stitching and wanting to get into that as another outlet um, of being able to do something creative and with my hands still, um, I decided to do some big stitch quilting or whatever we want to call this on these blocks. And I will eventually trim this down and make this into a pillow that I can, toss on my couch or on my bed or whatever. Um, but here are the tools that I used. Now, I made this little needle book and a couple of others, but I made this one. It was so fun to make. But there are my scissors. I got 1,001 needles. You think I'll ever run out of needles? And then my Hera marker. Now, this, I had only ever used this end of the Hera marker, and I used it to, push out corners of things that I had made, pillows and whatnot. That's the only thing I had ever used it for. Had never used this end, didn't know what it was for, didn't know it was for anything, to be honest. And the more I watched other videos of people doing slow stitching, learned that this is a Hera marker and it can make marks. And so at some point, as I was doing hand stitching on this, began to use the Hera marker. You can look and tell where I did not use the Hera marker because my stitches are a little wonky. But you know what? I don't even care. Do not even care. I just used a traditional thimble. And then I used these three colors of cotton pearl number 8 or size 8 um, thread. And I absolutely love this. So I just used colors that were within. I didn't have a brown, so all I used was the green, the blue, green, purple, and the white. Excuse me. Threads on this. This is the front, no judgment. This is the back. Again, like I said, this was my first time ever embarking on hand quilting, and I think I learned a lot. Now you can tell where I started, and I pulled the threads too tight and so forth, where I began. And then as I got more comfortable with it, I began to relax and not pull so tightly on my thread. My stitches are not even, not in the least. And I'm okay with that. As a beginner, I think I did pretty good. um, for my stitches to look just halfway decent. That's all I was aiming for. On the next project, I will aim for more even and consistent stitches. The backing is, or the piece that I put as the back of this block is double-sided because this is so thin. It's almost like a gauze. And so I just wanted to have a little bit more sturdiness, so I doubled it up. But like I said, I am going to make this into a pillow. I don't even know what size this is. Uh, who knows? Yeah, I don't even know. But anyway, I think it's 21 by 21, or maybe not. Maybe 15 by 15. No, 18 by 18. Okay. So, but anywho, I think I did pretty good for a first time, never having hand quilted before, never really done any hand sewing before. I think I did fairly well. I'm proud of myself. I am pleased with what I did. I am pleased with my stitches. I did have some fairly even stitches every now and then. Every now and then I did. Yeah. But I do have about 4 or 5 more blocks like this, different fabrics, but 4 or 5 other blocks that I did make that I was going to do, free motion quilting practice with the domestic machine. I will make those all into pillows. Maybe I'll give them away. I don't know. I have no idea. But this one is done and I wanted to share it with you guys. So hopefully tomorrow I will feel a little better. Even though I don't like the finesse thread on my long arm, I may get on here tomorrow if I'm feeling up to it and try it again. My thread from Glide will not arrive until late Monday evening. And yeah, so that's just a few more days away. So I'm kind of getting antsy and I really, really want to get on my long arm. So I just may give the finesse thread a try again and just deal with it. I don't know. I'm really not pleased with the stitch quality on it, so maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just be still. Anyway, this here is done, and I wanted to share that with you guys. All right, guys, my energy is waning. So I'm going to end this video, as short as it is for now. I will see you guys on the next video sooner rather than later. Take care. God bless. Bye.